Homecoming. With the Downer Brothers. Move it.
You want a bunch of real estate in the city, what you gon' do? Call the Downer Brothers and I guarantee they got you. Real estate business, listen, let's get it.
Real estate.
Real estate business, listen, let's get it.
Listen.
This episode is sponsored by Jared Greer with Guaranteed Rate. Whether you are looking to buy your first home or renovate your current home, go to rate.com/Jared Greer today.
Equal housing lender, subject to credit approval. Restrictions apply. NMLS ID 301746. NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Welcome to Homecoming with the Downer Brothers. This is Anthony.
This is Anton.
Man, we have another great episode today, man. We're really taking it home. I mean, one of the first neighborhoods that we started our whole process in is going to come up in this conversation, man. But who do we have sitting here?
We have Phil Beckham. And let me tell y'all, you really do need to know this man.
You know what? It's like you're like the quiet storm. You know what I mean? It's like you got a lot of stuff going on, but you just kind of quietly mosey on by, and you're the person that no one knows is there, but then boom, you got all this stuff going on.
Yeah, that is, I was told a long time ago by my dad, be quiet and listen. So that's what I do a lot of, but I appreciate being here. This is cool.
Man, I'm glad to finally get you here. So, so we kind of been watching you from a distance on social media. We run into you at the coffee shop every once in a while, but we never really sat down to really understand your whole story. So I really want everyone to learn about how you got to this point in your life. So can we please start? Where is home? Where are you from?
Sure. So Phil Beckham III. I am from Chicago, Bronzeville neighborhood, third generation. Actually moved to Harvey when we were 8 or 9. I was 8 or 9 years old because my parents had a school bus company that we ran out of space in the back of our 3-flat to park these buses. So my grandfather owned property in Harvey. That was in the early 70s. And we moved out there, went to grade school out there, went to high school at Thorn Ridge High School. And all that time I was involved with the family company of the school buses. Transported kids back and forth to school. Everybody's ridden on those buses sometime or another. Was always involved in that. Didn't know that my name on the side of the bus was a big deal at the time. But as I got older, I realized that was impactful with a lot of people. On from there, went to college. I was at Iowa State University. Enjoyed playing football there and enjoyed my whole time there. I wish I could have stayed and just went to parties and social events.
Don't we all?
But it was a cool time, and again, was back and forth. Always worked in the bus company. I didn't have any skills like you guys do with your hands. So my younger brother, was always great with his hands. So he was the master mechanic, and I decided to stay in the office and get involved with that. And eventually, I ended up purchasing the company from my parents in 2000 and and ran it, and actually turned it in from a family cookie jar to a corporation. And in 2010, actually 2009, built it up and sold all the contracts, held all the real estate. There's a real estate thing we're doing here.
Right.
And the company that we work with, not still lease it from us now. So from that, I went to working with a Chinese company to bring their all-electric buses to CTA, which they have 4 still in use right now.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, that was a transition that I went through when I was busing was over. I had no more yellow buses to be involved with. So
what? You were a consultant with to CTA? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's not to CTA.
Oh, to the Chinese
company called Photon.
Okay.
So Photon, all they did was took our technology and put it into batteries for all battery powered buses. So in this country, if you are a public transportation entity in any city, any new product comes in, if it hasn't gone through Chicago CTA, they don't take it. So I introduced them to everybody at CTA, got them their entrance to the market, and then CTA went on and used 3 buses for testing. So that was that part of my life, and then went through a personal space with family. Got divorced, came back. I was in San Diego at the time. Came back. Kids came to live with me, so I had them with me, and still working on different careers, and got into restaurants, bars, and stuff like that. Starting not really being the silent one behind, a lot of the places that are still going now.
Right.
And then started my nonprofit. I'm gonna speed on through this. My nonprofit, MS Bark, which is set up in Bronzeville strictly to help small Black-owned businesses grow to scale. Most of the programs and chambers around, they're good. They serve a great purpose. But I realized most of the people who ran those never had their own business.
Right.
So that was a problem for me.
Right.
So I put together a team that all own their own businesses, and we just went right to it. We're a handhold organization that takes you and says, sit down, let's talk about where you are, where you need to go.
So this is like an incubator then?
Yeah, well, it was an incubator, but it was done at the coffee shops. So a lot of times people see me there. That's what we were doing, interviewing businesses, working with them. And it was a really good space to get that done. And that's 5 years down the line, and we've helped over 60 businesses grow to scale, get second storefronts, get online, just do really well. I'm really proud of what we've been doing. And that continues.
That's awesome.
And then my next life started about 20 months ago.
20 months ago. Alright.
He's like,
That
and
next
I'm
life
guessing
started.
this is the commercial real estate then.
Alright, well, okay. Well,
ahead.
before we dive into that, you know what I like? I like when we get Anton's definition of the day.
It's time for Anton's definition of the day.
The definition of the day is affordable housing. Though different countries have different definitions, one thing remains the same. Lower and middle class people need affordable housing. And we're going to address that today.
All right, so affordable housing. I mean, I'm glad that you decided to make that the definition of the day, because it's something that I've been thinking about a lot the last couple of years. In our own way, on a smaller scale, we've done affordable housing by, renovating multi-unit properties and providing, housing in South Shore, in Washington Heights, Roseland. These are the neighborhoods that we have, but these are 3 and 4 unit properties. Right. Scaling to 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 units, that's the goal, and it's so necessary. So you're talking about 20 months ago. What happened 20 months ago?
Well, 21 months ago, I, in a coffee shop, cut a deal with a JV partner to build 3 10-story buildings with 100 units each, 50-50 split of affordable market rate.
Wait, 300 units?
300 units. And 15,000 square feet of retail space on 43rd Street between King Drive and Indiana, right around
the Green Line.
Right around the Green Line.
Okay.
It's a TOD, transportation-oriented development. The first phase was approved by the city in January, and we're planning to break ground on that first building in September. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's what I mean by like full circle. So, our renovation journey, right? When we actually said, oh man, we're going to have to start renovating properties, starting in Bronzeville.
Right.
And our grandparents, when they moved to Chicago from Mississippi,
They had to
live in Bronzeville back in 1944 when they got here. So, and then to see something that had long overdue. I'm talking about like decades overdue.
Exactly.
And you're the catalyst to that, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I appreciate that. That was I didn't know how big it was until we got into it. Just a little background: my grandfather was one of the first licensed Black contractors in Chicago in the late 20s, and when he was skilled master carpenter, and he made a lot of his money working with Al Capone and building all of the back doors and underground doors and framing out things for.
You mean the speakeasies?
Is
he talking about speakeasies?
The logistics for his product.
Yeah, the logistics.
And then he also helped build out policy halls in Bronzeville, which is now the lottery. Okay. And then my dad and my uncle, who are also master carpenters. Once again, I'm leading towards that didn't pass down to me with any skills of building anything. But they were part of my grandfather's P.L. Beckham and Sons construction, and there's still some buildings there that my grandfather and dad built that my kids can see and touch. They also built about 60 homes in Morgan Park before it was annexed to Chicago. So there's a lot of we have a lot of history in that area. So I didn't realize what I was doing and why I was doing it until I looked back and saw what had been going on in my lineage, and I said, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right.
I live 2 blocks away. That area was empty forever. It hasn't been occupied by any residents for over 30 years. So there's no displacement. There's all vacant city-owned property. So that was the beginning.
Right.
And we have, it's really been great. A lot of great feedback. The neighborhood is really looking forward to it. We're bringing in some of those businesses I talked about with MS Barkley we work with. Some of them are going to be taking the spaces, the new retail spaces.
Oh, great.
So it's a proud moment for me.
And 50% are going to be market rate, and 50% are going to be affordable,
which is not the norm. And so we had to get this over to banks to help them understand this is something different. Normally they're used to 80-20, 80% affordable, 20% market rate. But we kept pushing that this is what needs to happen here, and we have the great support from the aldermen, from all the city officials, and the community, which is needed.
Because by making it 50% market rate, you're bringing in a certain type of people that won't be afraid to live there. Because if you only make it 20% market rate, then why would they want to live with, quote unquote, poor people?
And we specifically brand our marketing this towards young professionals, the ones who are just out of college, may still have student debt. They can afford, to move in. They can, if they work downtown or with any of the business there, they can get on the train.
Wait, do I still count as a young professional?
Yes, you do. You're younger than me. You're a young professional.
You heard it here first. I'm still a young professional.
And also it brings back, the purpose of that is there's a culture that's in Bronzeville, and it's not just history here. Bronzeville is a future. There's a lot of arts. There's a lot of great culture. And in order to keep that culture and energized, you can't have people like me living there. You have to have younger people there who have that energy, who always make changes, always change culture, and always the foundation's always there, but the culture will always evolve. Yeah. And that was a big part of it. We have a big mural that we set aside on the building that's in the alley that we've already worked with some artists, local artists, to get involved. But that's what's important for me. It's important for me to make sure people that look like me get opportunities to contract there. I've pulled in black engineers, black interior designers, black concrete companies, because if I can't do that, then what's the point? I mean, money is going to be made, but unless I bring people in that haven't ever got the opportunity, and it's their job once I get them to the table to perform. Yeah. But most of them never got the opportunity, so that's my job with this project.
Right. So you haven't just provided an opportunity for affordable housing. You've provided an opportunity for minority or disenfranchised professionals to get a chance to do work on a big time project, something they put on their resume that they can shoot their career off.
And we'll be there for 5 years, so it's not something they can just work for that building. There are three buildings, plus there's 3 other buildings that are going to be built on that corridor. So we'll be there building, and it gives them an opportunity to grow to scale.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dude, I love it because this thing, I'm a historian. Yeah. And when I look at the history of Bronzeville, one of the things that broke my heart was to find that when the community started to become desegregated, all of the talent left Bronzeville, left behind all of the people who, basically were poor and couldn't move. This right here, when you have 50-50, 50% market, 50% affordable, now you're keeping that talent. You're not allowing to what happened 50 years ago to happen to repeat. Correct. Because now we can have everybody together. So now you have the kids that can see the role models walking down the hallway.
To define affordable, if the rent is, let's say, $1,500, let's say $2,000. If the rent is $2,000 for affordable, would that be 20% less?
So no, our rent wouldn't be $2,000 for affordable. So our affordable,
I was just making a
our
number
affordable. So we have 2 bedrooms one, and studios. So we start out with affordable studios are I think around 600.
Okay.
And then it goes up from there. That I don't think it taps out for 2 bedrooms over 1,200.
Okay.
And then it goes, market rate is market rate.
Right.
So you can, imagine what those are. But yeah, it's made to be affordable, and that's the point. I mean, once again, but we're marketing towards young professionals and those who can afford it may just be out of college and have their first job, but they have so much student debt that they can't get a market rate. But they can be there for an affordable one. And there's so much new infill housing going on in Bronzeville. If you can keep them there and they can grow and they can get their finances right, they don't have to leave. They can get a condo in that neighborhood. They can buy a house in that neighborhood.
Right.
Because that is
as they grow.
As they grow. Right. It's plentiful there because that's the one thing that's missing is new construction, affordable and market rate apartments, and that's what we're filling.
Right. So I don't know. This is exciting, man, because I've always pictured Bronzeville moving in this direction. And, and I mean, obviously the recession back in 2009 hurt. But the fact that this project is finally happening, a decade later, it's promising.
Because that's like not on the west end of Brownsville. I guess you kind of say it's the westerly side because I look at we were born in Michael Reese Hospital, and that's been just like those vacant lots. It's been vacant for like what?
12 years. I'm Jackson Park Hospital.
and now that's finally being repurposed.
Yeah, that's
into apartments and
well, the biggest issue
too.
in underserved communities, not enough investment, but incomes. Most of that area was based. The incomes are based on all the steel mills on 95th and further south in the southeast. The auto industry. All that industry that was based on, and then we had our own small businesses. Before segregation, everybody went to the black-owned pharmacies. Right. Everybody went to the black dentist. That's who they went to, and then desegregation gave people an opportunity to move, which that kind of killed the golden goose. Right. And policy, I can tell you this: policy was the biggest funder of black businesses, from Ebony to large businesses. It was funded through policy. Right. And once the state took that away and made it illegal, and then turned it around and made it a lottery. Right. But that was our bank. Right. And that was what made it solid. And,
and so then the dollar didn't circulate.
The dollar didn't circulate. People talk about dollar circulating in other communities. During that time, all the way up until the late 50s, it didn't leave. Right. It didn't leave. Right. So people talk about 6 hours, 5. It didn't leave.
Right. All right. Well, this is definitely a step in the right direction. All right. Let's talk about being a developer. I think being having African American developers are crucial. They're important. One, because they grew up in these neighborhoods, they understand the culture, and even have a mentality that I want to involve a diversity of talent in the process of building this all out. Did you was there another developer that you ran into? Like, how did you decide I'm going to be a developer? Who did you meet, or at what point did it become to this?
I didn't decide to be a developer. I was I have a good relationship with local government, and they were trying to get that developed, and they said, look, we're having problems. Can you help? If you can find somebody to develop it, we'll support it. So I have everything I do is based on relationships. Right. And I always stress that to business owners and people who want to be entrepreneurs. If you don't have a network where you can pick up the phone and call somebody and make something happen, then you need to work on your network. Right. So this is all based on relationships. I called a buddy of mine at the Habitat Company who I didn't know built buildings. I thought they just managed. I said, look, bring your guys down and tell me what you think. They came down and they said, oh, okay. And then a week later, we were in this. So that's how I became a developer. So
it wasn't like you had a mentor.
No, I didn't have a mentor.
And I really keyed in what you just said. We say it all the time. You have to build relationships before you can build houses.
Right. Exactly. Everything was relationships. They came. They talked to me. They started explaining things to me. I have my business partner Juan Saldana already had P3 Markets because he was doing an industrial building, and we've known each other for 15 years.
Wait, you're talking about who is it?
Juan Saldana.
Oh, Wasadai. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, so we don't know him. We need.
Yeah, you need to know.
Can we meet him?
Yes, you can.
right.
So we are one of the only, I think, the only black and brown development company in the city of Chicago, and do a lot of work in Little Village. That's where he lives, and in Bronzeville. So that relationship, we came to the table. We had relationships with attorneys and everybody else that we needed to have that were big time. And I said, look, we're small time, but we're stepping into a big world.
Okay.
We need your back. And then it just started to play out. Habitat understood. Finally, they got around to understanding the network and relationship that I had and I have. And it just moved the project along, not because I just have relationships, but because it's a good project.
Right.
It's solid.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, good people involved. But once again, I relationships have always been the foundation of everything I do. I learned that from my dad, my uncle, my mom, my grandfather. Watched the way they developed and nurtured relationships, and always kept those going. And that's what this is all about. There's no book, there's no school to go to, a class to go to. This is all about relationships.
Look, America. If there's nothing you learn from listening to this podcast, it's the power of developing relationships. If you ever ask yourself, how do the Downer Brothers continue to get into these different opportunities? It's because we're willing to go out and shake hands and meet people and ask questions.
Facts.
And then also figure out how we can add value. We all know that people are trying to get from point A to point B, and if we can be the person that helps to give them a ride, then we've added value to their situation. Please go out and develop relationships so that you can start your business, buy your real estate, do whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You have to develop relationships. I just had to say it one more time.
And
That's it.
I'd like to add, get in business relationships that are uncomfortable. If you're a realtor, just don't have relationships with realtors. Go out and meet different people in different genres and different skill sets. I know plumbers, but also know people, men who do hair. I mean, it's just relationships because that is all that makes who you are and makes your business, and it strengthens who you are as a person as well. So,
Hey,
That's
we
real.
are 100% on board. The way we navigate life is exactly like that. And if people had that kind of mindset, they wouldn't be stuck. A lot of people feel stuck because they don't expand their circle. They don't meet new people outside of their environment.
Yeah.
You got to expand your circle, and you got to do things that are uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable for a lot of people when they go into a room and people are speaking a more academic language, or people dress in a different way, and it's uncomfortable. Look, we're uncomfortable all the time, and I honestly, if I don't feel like if I don't stretch myself and get into uncomfortable situations on a regular basis, I feel stuck.
Right.
And I know it's time for me to go out and get into some new circles.
Exactly.
So
Growth. It's all about growth.
It's all about growth. All right, so I want to ask you, what does the word homecoming mean to you?
Homecoming to me has a lot of different definitions. I'll start with the one I most enjoy because I'm petty. Homecoming to me is karma. When I watch karma come back and get somebody they duly deserve it, that is a homecoming to me. And I
never heard somebody say it like that.
and I'm a patient petty, so I'll wait years and years and years for it to happen. When it does, I just want to be there for it.
Oh man.
Other homecoming, just a homecoming of good people and good friends. Being able to, you may not see them all the time, you may not hear from them all the time, but when you get back together, it's just like you've been with each other all the time.
Right.
And that's more of friends that you've made over the years. And you can start where you stopped the last time, and it's just comfortable.
Right.
And
I know what that feels like.
Yeah, those are great. Now family homecomings can go, left or right. Those sometimes it's like, okay, here we go. That wasn't gonna happen this time, but those are my three, and homecomings are you can learn a lot, and homecomings to me are made for you, somebody to feel good out of.
Right. I agree. But that first one, that Karma Homecoming. That was the first on Homecoming with the Donner Brothers. And I appreciate you giving us
that. I'm not above being petty. So
I am not either. I will wait for it.
Petty. I am Captain Petty.
All right, cool. All right, so tell us, what's next for you personally or professionally? What are you excited about?
Professionally, as this grows, this is about a $150 million development for the high rises, and a total of about $350 million for the whole development. And if I haven't professionally gotten as many people as I can to look like me, to eat off this and grow and make money, then I've been a failure. That is.
You're not gonna fail.
No, but that's the fire that keeps me pushing to make sure that it happens. Personally, is just to deal with the stress better and make sure that my kids. I have 3 wonderful kids. A son is 24. My twin daughters are 21.
Oh, you got twins?
Yeah. So
Twin club.
For them to be able to see and just be proud.
Right.
Those are the 3 that I only want. I want to be proud. I want them to be proud of me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not all the other stuff you see in the paper. I got asked a question a while ago. How do you want people should know who you are? No, I want them to know the person that got the chance to grow and be in the business. That's who I want them to know.
That's fulfilling. That's fulfilling right there.
I'm usually the guy that, like I said, I still go by my grandfather saying, be quiet and listen. So I'd much rather be in the corner where that guy is, and everything else goes.
Right.
I'm perfectly fine with that. So
when I come through like Sip and Savor, I be seeing you in the corner. I be seeing you over there. But I was like,
in the corner.
He doing something important though. All right. So for all of our guests on Homecoming with the Donner Brothers, we always ask them, is there a charitable organization that you would like people to know about? So
Definitely.
Who you got?
My charitable organization that I absolutely love is Polished Pebbles. PolishedPebbles.com, run by Kelly Fair. Absolutely powerful woman. She this program is developed to work with young ladies, I think from age 6 through college, developing them as young women and women. And she has a great program called Pink Hard Hats. And it is about getting young ladies involved in the construction arena.
Okay.
Which works out just fine. We're going to be putting together a partnership where those girls can be matched up with different parts of the construction, from laborers to engineers to architects to concrete, anything that's involved in construction. So we're really happy about Polished Pebbles and becoming a great partner with them. And they're a Bronzeville organization, and they just do great things, and I really am proud of them and Kelly Fair.
All right, great. Oh wait, did you say where we can find them?
Yes, polishedpebbles.com.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
All right, cool. So where can people find out more about you and get connected with this project?
Sure. Name of my company is P3 Markets LLC. You can find us on all social media, p3markets.com. The name of the project is 43 Green. 43 Green is what you'll find it under if you look at it in the city's website. But it's referred to in all the real estate periodicals, Cranes and everybody else under 43 Green. Okay. Really excited about it. We are going to break ground in late August, early September. And really.
I want to be there for the break.
Yeah, man. Let us know. Can we come hang out?
When the date comes out, I will make sure you guys get it. I'd love to have you there.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, thank you. So for everyone, man, this is why we do it. You once again have hit a home run for us for content, because we want people to know this story and know what is possible. Yes. So thank you for coming on Homecoming with the Donner Brothers.
I appreciate it.
All right, for all of you out there, please hold on. Wait 1 second and join me for Anthony's After Set.
You're now entering Anthony's After Set.
Thank you for sticking around for Anthony's After Set. Well, for today, I think that I want to go back to a concept that we were talking about earlier, and it's called karma. Now, you can have good karma by being a good person, being helpful, Finding out how you can add value. Speaking life into people's situations. And in a very simple way, doing the right thing. Karma is important because when you do the opposite of all those things, it comes back to bite you. If you really want opportunities, if you want doors to swing open for you, you want to develop a good karma because of all the value and all of the happiness and all the joy that you bring into people's lives. Try to stay positive. Keep that type of mindset. Walk into situations talking about how you're going to improve it. Make sure that your karma is right. And then see your whole life change for the better. Thank you for sticking around for Anthony's Afterset.
Homecoming. With the Downer Brothers.